Credit cards aren't what's keeping people broke. It's just one thing people do with them that feels smart, but actually isn't. And yeah, I used to think I was winning too. I was not. But then I started seeing people online doing stuff like this.
In your early 20s and you're still using a debit card, I hate to break it to you, but you're just throwing money away.
You should put every single purchase on a credit card.
Advice that I actively disagree with as a retired finance girly is that we should not use credit cards.
And this is the problem. None of these people are completely wrong. That's what makes this so dangerous. Credit cards can be great. Build credit, get rewards, all that. But there's one thing that nobody talks about. Once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. Like this right here.
March 12th, I paid $5,000 off my credit card. I'm paying $50 off the balance, so let's get this paid right now. Payment details, payment submitted. Let's go.
Wait, hold on. $75,000 and we're celebrating $50? Now, don't get me wrong. Paying $5,000 off is actually crazy. That's amazing. But this is what I'm talking about with these credit card companies. It feels like progress to you, but you're still stuck in the same exact cycle. And the crazy part is, it doesn't start like this.
You should put every single purchase on a credit card, even if you have cash for it. But when you use them responsibly, credit cards are actually the safest and smartest way to pay for everything.
See, and this is how it starts. And please don't get me wrong. This is not incorrect information, but this is where people start getting a little bit too confident, you know, because this slowly turns into, oh, I'll just put it on the card. And that's where things start to change.
Young hoes cook everything on high.
Nah, see guys, this is where we lose the plot. The minimum payment is not a strategy. That's how you stay stuck. And look, nobody just wakes up and maxes out their credit card for fun. It starts small, you use it for something simple, then it turns into I'll pay it off later. Then it turns into the minimum payment is fine. And then it slowly turns into this.
So unfortunately, I maxed out my emergency credit card and I also tapped into your college savings plan. Again.
Wait, emergency credit card for luxury bags? Yeah, we're definitely pushing it now. And this is actually how it starts for a lot of people. The average credit card balance in the United States is around $6,000, $7,000. And it usually doesn't come from one big mistake. It comes from stuff like this over and over again.
I'm done paying my credit card bills. I didn't pay them off. I'm done paying them. I don't want to pay them anymore, so.
Now, he might be joking, but this is a real problem that real people deal with every day. We went from using the credit card to just pretending it doesn't exist. And this is where it actually gets serious, because missed payments don't just go away. They destroy your credit score and rack up interest fast. And I know this because I was once in about $5,000 worth of credit card debt, and that interest rate is no joke. Most of these cards are charging 20-30% interest rate. So this balance is literally growing while you're ignoring it. And the scary part is, guys, it doesn't even stop here, because for a lot of people, it turns into this.
I just did a debt update video talking about how I spent on my credit cards again, so let's see what the damage is. My Chase card went from $21,451 to $21,032. My Amex card went from $8,341 to $8,133.
When you have so many credit cards with such a high balance, this turns into like a monthly subscription at this point. Because on paper, it looks like progress. It looks like she's paying some of these down. But if you listen closely, they're still spending while trying to pay it off. So nothing actually changes. You're not getting out of debt, you're just maintaining it. And if this goes on long enough, it doesn't just stay like this. It turns into this.
Your daughter, 21-year-old, not even moving out, has every blessing in the world with no actual overhead costs in her life, has a maxed out 5,000-hour credit card with 167 hours a month as a minimum monthly payment.
And this is where it leads. Now it's not just using a credit card anymore. Now you've got a maxed out balance and a monthly payment that just keeps you stuck. Caleb goes into how it's going to take 21 years or 23 years to pay it all back if she's only doing the monthly minimum payment. At this point, you're not building credit, you're trapped by it. And the crazy part is this did not happen overnight. And if you look at all the clips that I presented to you, it all follows a very similar pattern. Credit cards are designed to feel easy to use but hard to get out of.
Minimum payments are the most brilliant lie in personal finance because they make debt feel safe while slowly stretching it out for years. When your credit card says, just pay the minimum, it's okay. That sounds like help.
Minimum payments are the most brilliant lie. That right there is probably the most accurate way to describe it. Because the minimum payment isn't designed to help you, it's designed to keep you in the system. It makes debt feel manageable while quietly stretching it out for years, which is exactly what we just saw. Like, you might have a $5,000 balance and they'll tell you to pay $100. Meanwhile, interest is hitting that balance every single month. And once you understand that, you start using credit cards completely different. So if credit cards can be used the wrong way this easily, how do you actually use them the right way? In this section, we're going to go over some rules that everybody can follow to never fall into that trap again. Rule number 1, treat your credit card like a debit card, which basically means only spend money you already have. Not money you're about to make, not money you think you'll have, and definitely not money your future self is supposed to just figure out. So if you have $500 in your account, you should be spending like you only have $500, not $500 plus I'll pay it later, because that's how people end up in a situation we just watched. The only difference between debit and credit is when the money leaves your account, not if. If you wouldn't swipe your debit card for it, don't swipe your credit card either. Rule number 2, guys, and this might be a little controversial, but if you can't pay it off today, you probably shouldn't be swiping it. And I know people hear that and they're like, well, that's the whole point of a credit card, because the moment you swipe something you can't pay off, you're not using the card anymore, you're borrowing money. And that's how people end up saying, I'll just pay it later, that minimum payment is fine. And it feels small in the moment, but that's literally how it starts. Like, if you swipe $300 and you don't have it, that's not a purchase, that's a debt. And if you don't pay it off at the end of the month, it's gonna be interest just waiting for you. If you wouldn't buy it in cash today, don't put it on the card and pretend it's fine. And if you follow those 2 rules alone, you avoid like 90% of the problems that we just watched. And lastly, rule 3, we're gonna go into the minimum payment mindset, just to tie it all back together. So this is the one that traps people the most. It's gonna be to stop thinking in minimum payments. Because that whole like just pay the minimum thing, it's not a solution, you know? Once again, that's how you stay stuck. Like, it's not a strategy, you're just trying to survive. When you only pay the minimum, you're not really paying off that debt, guys. You're just slowing it down. But you're barely slowing it down. That's why you see people with like $20,000, $30,000 in credit card debt and it never goes down, because that interest is hitting that balance every single month while you're just making the smallest payment possible to cover that interest. You're basically fighting a fire with a water bottle. So if you're not paying it off in full, you're playing the bank's game. So if you avoid those 3 things, credit cards can actually be really useful. And depending on where your credit is at, there are actually some very solid options you can use the right way, not the way that we just watched. So if your credit is in like the 400s to 600 range, you're not worried about rewards right now. Your goal is only to rebuild. You know, you want something simple. You want a low limit secured card with no fees, and, you know, preferably, I'm describing the best credit card in the world, but preferably no crazy fees. This is not the time to be chasing JetBlue points or Capital One venture cards. You're just trying to prove that you can handle that small balance. Now, if you're in that 600 to 700 range, this is where people start getting a little too excited. Look for something with basic cash back, no annual fees, and get those simple rewards that add up gradually. You can start earning those rewards, but don't let that trick you into spending more, because 2% cash back is not worth 100% more spending. And if your credit is in the 700 plus range, you have options. Look for those travel rewards, that higher cash back, and take advantage of all of those perks. This is where credit cards can actually work for you, but only if you don't forget everything we just talked about. But no matter what card you have, none of it matters if you're carrying a balance, because interest will wipe out any rewards you earn. So that card matters, but how you use it matters more. Guys, credit cards don't make you rich, they just make your habits louder. If you spend like you're disciplined, now it actually works in your favor. Everything we just watched didn't happen because of the card, it happened because of the decisions that people made. The card just made it easier. And I'm not saying this as someone who's perfect. I have made these mistakes too, guys. I've been in a lot of credit card debt. That Discover It card, like that starter card, I racked that up. I maxed that out. And it took discipline and consistency to get that balance down and completely pay it off. And this is why I make these videos, so people can, you know, see that other people have struggled. Other people go through the same exact thing every single day. And if I could help somebody, just one person out with their credit card journey or their financial journey, that it makes my day. So wrapping everything up, everything that we just watched, that didn't happen overnight. It was a bunch of small decisions that felt smart in the moment, but added up over time. Once again, credit cards aren't the problem. It's how people think they're using them. And yeah, sometimes, we lie to ourselves a little bit, but if you can stay disciplined and follow those rules, credit cards can actually work for you. Just make sure you're the one in control. Guys, if this helped you out, drop a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever. I'm going to be coming out with another video very shortly. I appreciate every single one of you who watches the video, likes it, does whatever, even looks at the video. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Let me know what I should do for my next video. And yeah, bye.